Today I'm cooking something that I've never made before, Texas chili. It is so rich and thick and hearty, slightly creamy. And the two hard rules about Texas chili is that there are no tomatoes and no beans. So don't put it in there. The two main components, the meat and dried chilies. These are really inexpensive and they're very readily available at a lot of different grocery stores. So we just picked up a variety. I'm gonna use a total of 2 to 3 ounces. So that's basically the equivalent of one of these bags. So you're talking like just a few bucks. I am going to use an ancho chili because this is like a smoked poblano. So it has that smoky flavor anyway. Characteristic of Texas chili is that it is really hearty and smoky. So I'm gonna use anchos for sure. And then I'm also gonna do guajillo. These are very readily available, also very inexpensive. I saw a lot of recipes include the pasilla chili. Guajillo is gonna be a little spicier than the pasilla and about the same as the ancho. Now we want that richness from the dried chilies, but we don't want all the heat. So I'm going to remove the stem and the seeds. Easiest way to do that are with some kitchen shears. And then just kind of cut down the center. Open it up. Okay, this is gonna remove the heat without removing the flavor. And what we're making with the dried chilies is like a paste, and that is the key ingredient besides the meat in Texas chili. So the first thing we wanna do is cook these up in a skillet just to release some of those flavors. You don't really wanna skip this step. I know it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it is. See, it happens kind of fast, especially with these thin ones. You can definitely smell it, and also don't forget to wash your hands because, like, don't touch your eyes. You touched all those seeds. All right, so I'm gonna add the toasted chilies to a bowl, and then we're gonna pour over some boiling water. And then we're just gonna let that steep for about 20 to 30 minutes or until those peppers are really soft. All right, while that happens, we'll get the meat going. You want something really hearty here. Typically, it's like a chuck roast or stew meat. You just want a hearty cut of meat that will tenderize over a long, low and slow cook time. We're just going to cube up this chuck roast. I think you want it kind of, you know, like more bite-sized pieces because you're not really gonna shred it later. There's plenty of fat throughout the meat, so trim off some of the extra just so your pot's not like too greasy. All right, the meat is all cut up, and then I'm just gonna season it. Try to get it, you know, coated on all the sides, just with salt and pepper. We have a lot of flavor coming in later. To me, Texas chili is a combination of chili and a stew because it's super thick. I just am so excited about it. It's gonna be so good. And give it a little toss and season the other side. I think the reason I haven't made this chili before is because in my head, I thought everyone smoked the meat, you know, elsewhere and then add it to the chili, but the smokiness really comes from the peppers and stuff. This is doable. Kind of surprised I have waited till now to make this. All right, so get you a heavy Dutch oven, get it hot. And then I'm gonna add in just some neutral oil, so canola or vegetable or lard, just enough to create a little boundary between the pot and the meat. You're gonna have to do this in batches so that it all gets good and browned. Let that go undisturbed for a few minutes. I'm gonna chop up my onion and garlic. This is a lot less chopping than I do in my other chili because you don't have to chop up all the bell peppers and stuff. So we're developing color and flavor on the meat, but also in the pan, and that's gonna be our first layer of flavor. Keep your pan really hot, otherwise your meat just steams in there. We want brown meat, not gray meat. Once your meat's browned, I'm gonna go in with the onion into the drippings. All right, as these cook, they're gonna start to lift the flavor from the bottom of the pan. And we're gonna cook these until they're nice and soft, about 4 or 5 minutes. While that happens, we're gonna turn our chilies into our chili paste. All right, so all we need to do is take our chilies. They're really soft now and pliable. We're gonna add that to a blender. I'm gonna save the water in case I want some of that. I don't like to use too much of that because it kind of gives kind of a strong, like bitterish flavor. I'm also gonna add in my garlic here instead of with the onions because I don't feel like chopping it. So that goes in there. Also going in with the chilies are some canned chipotles in adobo. This adds another layer of like rich smokiness.
Don't touch your eyes.
Don't rub your eyes. I also like a little of the sauce. I'm gonna use just like about a half a cup of chili soaking water just to kind of get it going in there. And then we're just gonna blend that up until it's nice and smooth. Look at that. Thick. You can tell the flavor just by the color. The smell is so incredible. It just gives you that like kind of true chili flavor. If you'll also notice a lot of these recipes for Texas chili don't use chili powder because this should give you enough of that flavor that you don't need it. If you find yours lacks some chili, then You know, you can add it, but this will not. Now everything comes together in the pot. All right, our onions are really soft. Now we're gonna add in some spices. So cumin, classic and chili, also adds a little earthy smokiness. This ingredient is a little controversial to me. Well, cinnamon, it is in a lot of the recipes. I'm gonna add half as much as the recipe calls because I just don't love the cinnamony and like chocolatey chili flavors. So in I go with cinnamon. And then that chili paste that we made. You know, I told you like Texas chili is like just really thick, almost like a thick gravy. That happens when you add in some masa harina, which is corn flour. You wanna dissolve it a little bit first, just so we don't get clumps of it. So I've got a little bit of water here and I'm gonna whisk some of this in there. So not only does it act as a thickener, but it does kind of add a unique flavor. I like beer in my chili and with my chili. So I'm gonna add that in as part of my liquid. Beer is gonna get the remaining flavor from the bottom of the pot. Color is looking on point. Okay, then in with our beef broth. I know that pot looked a little messy, but we're cleaning it up right now, see? Look at that. Texans, how am I doing? In with a couple bay leaves. You can use fresh or dried. And then also back in with our meat and any juices that have accumulated. Let's see how we're doing on flavor. I mean, it's already like thickish. This is gonna be so good. Once it comes to a simmer, you're gonna reduce the heat and then partially cover it and let it go until that meat is tender, about a couple hours. Check this out. Look at the color and richness in this pot of chili. See, this is another example of simple ingredients creating something magical. We're just talking like some chilies and then your normal things, onion, garlic, and meat. And I'm using a top-rated recipe with a couple of my own twists, of course. So it finishes off with just a little bit, we're talking like a tablespoon for the whole pot, of brown sugar and white vinegar. And it makes sense to me because the vinegar is gonna kind of cut through some of that richness, and then brown sugar is just gonna balance out that intensity from the chili peppers. And then a tablespoon of vinegar. Just look at that. I mean, I didn't know it was gonna be that perfect. If it's not perfect, don't tell me, okay? Because I'm gonna choose to believe it is. And the chili is done. Now I did simmer it for about 2.5 to 3 hours just because I got busy. But this is one of those things you really can't cook it, you know, too long. My first pot of Texas chili. Now I can tell you, you're probably not gonna eat as much of this as you would the kind with tomatoes and beans and such because it is hearty and rich. So I'm gonna cut some of that richness and make my perfect bites with a little bit of sour cream. I definitely suggest topping this with just like some super like fresh, cold toppings just to cut that richness and balance it. So I'm gonna add a little bit of finely chopped white onion. We use so many chilies, but it's really not that spicy. It has like the perfect kick. Normally I do top my chili with cheese, but I'm not even feeling like I need it right now. Look at that. My mouth just started watering when I just reached in for that bite. If you need chili powder in your Texas chili recipe, then you're doing it wrong because you get so much of that satisfaction in like the most natural way, straight from those chilies. And that meat, I mean, it's so tender now. You can taste the rich smokiness. It's like the most in-depth flavored chili I've ever had. Good call. This is like getting to make chili, but it's a whole different experience. Texas chili for the win. You definitely need to give this recipe a try. So good.